Today on Monkey Life, another small primate rescue for Alison. This time it's Frank, a Jeffroy's marmoset.
Well, he's clearly a very confident young man.
And an epic fail for Bruce the slow loris as female Boo rejects him.
So Boo's pretty nervous. I guess she's quite a bit smaller than him.
Plus, great news from Germany about Xiao Ning, one of the park's first nursery graduates. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
That's one been grabbed.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. Alison's on a familiar mission. She's en route to rescue another marmoset victim of the British pet trade. This time she's travelling to the Midlands to collect and rehome a Jeffroy's marmoset called Frank.
I've known about Frank for actually a number of months now because when his current owners first purchased him, they did it because they were concerned about his health and welfare. He was only 12 months old when they first purchased him for £1,000, so not cheap expense. This is one very spoiled little monkey, but the family are doing everything they can. It's going to be an emotional day for everybody, I think.
The family contacted Alison a few months ago, having quickly realised they couldn't give Frank what all marmosets crave: companionship of his own kind and a natural outdoor environment. At the time, the park's marmoset complex was full to capacity, but the family visited Monkey World to see how the team care for the needs of these tiny primates. They agreed that as soon as space became available, they would let Frank join the ever-increasing number of rescued marmosets. Now, that day has arrived.
Hello. Good morning. You all right? Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
All right, thank you.
Really good to see you. There you are, little man. Hey, you. Hey, gorgeous.
Japanese face.
Yeah. Hi, you. I've got things that you'll like, though, little man.
Frank is nearly 2 years old and is starting to show all the behavioural signs of a fully grown adult.
He's just coming into full maturity, so his little aggressive behaviors and displays will become more and more.
Yeah.
And then he's going to end up picking, if he were to stay, one of you guys, probably yourself as the primary carer, and then he'll start having little goes at everybody else. Is the usual way. What do you think?
For owner Mandy, the demands of having a primate as a pet were a reality check.
It's 24/7. You can't have a day off. You can't think, oh, he doesn't need feeding today, or if you can't go out and stay over anywhere because you've got to get somebody to look after him. Hard work. Hard work.
Good boy. Yes, I can see all furnitures have a little touch of Frank.
Everything. Basically, he's took over the front room and he chews everything: the settee, the carpet, anything. And I've got wood in my front room. It was my favourite, so he's chewed all the wood as well. And wheeze and poos in here. It's like his home, isn't it?
Look, little man. Look.
Alison gains Frank's trust with a supply of mealworms, so that when the time comes to get him into the travelling box, it won't be too stressful.
Well, he's clearly a very confident young man, and been sort of well looked after and everything, but, you know, it's difficult in a sitting room in a domestic house to create the full-blown perfect environment for what's an animal that lives in the rainforest. So, you know, as much as they've provided everything they can for Frank, he needs, don't you go for my dragonflies, he needs companionship of another monkey and to have somebody with him at all times and to groom and communicate in the correct way. So we can get him hooked up with Douglas then it's like, you know, two puppies at the feeding bowl. All of the natural behaviors will come flying out of him straight away, so.
To make him comfortable on the journey back to the park, Alison places some of his favourite toys into the box.
You do know what the box is, but it's sort of interesting in there. And if I stud it with insects, I think I might get you.
Now it's just a question of waiting. Frank is curious as to why his toys are in the crate and pops his head in to check things out. When most of him is in the box, Alison gives him a final helping hand.
Oh, Frank, God bless you, you'll be fine.
You will be good.
I've said my prayers.
It's an emotional time for the family. Giving up a pet is always difficult, but they know they've made the right decision.
And see you soon. See you soon, Frank.
It's time for Alison and Frank to head back to Dorset. It's just over a week since woolly monkey Isla gave birth to her first infant, a little boy. Unfortunately, he was rejected by his mum. The primate care staff tried to reintroduce the baby to Isla, but she just wasn't interested. The team have been hand-rearing him ever since. To help him learn and develop as a woolly monkey should, he now needs to take his next big step, spending more time in the vicinity of others of his own kind.
Good boy. Hi.
The team have put together a specially prepared playroom where he'll be able to see Dad Chippy, Mum Isla, and the rest of the group, but without any physical interaction. Today, he's going to experience it for the first time.
He's definitely progressed over the past few days. He's started becoming a lot more alert. You can really see it in his eyes. He's taking note of things, noisy toys and anything like that. He's actually starting to turn to where the noise is coming from. He's slowly getting a little bit more active and he's feeding really, really well, which is good.
The bedroom has a specially raised floor and lots of handholds to prevent accidental falls, along with plenty of brightly coloured toys. Although he isn't moving around much yet, the space and toys are good stimulation for the youngster and will encourage him to reach out and start working his limbs. It also allows other members of the group to come over and take a look.
Individuals like Chippy are really interested in the baby, and particularly if the baby vocalises at all, gives a little squeak or anything like that, he comes running over to the mesh and he actually just snuffles, which is like their affectionate thing, so that's lovely, and he kind of is desperately trying to get as close as he can to the baby. Zingu spends a lot of time chilling out near this bedroom and just watches everything that's going on in here. So yeah, it's nice to know that everybody's aware of him already and everyone seems to be giving positive vocalisations towards him as well.
Like all newborns, this little one is very demanding and lets Emily know when he's hungry.
He's getting a little bit restless, he's starting to mouth around, which would be him rooting for the nipple. So he's basically telling me, I'm hungry and I'd like some food, please. Come here then. Good boy. Hi. You hungry? It's just warming up. Okay, right, little man. Done this? I know, it's here. Good boy. Good boy. He's feeding really well. I'm really pleased with his progress. Gradually each day he's taking slightly more and more milk from us. So we're obviously getting his fluid levels up, which is really important for him. And he's really keen for his feeds when he's ready for them. Good boy. He is teething a little bit at the moment, and that does cause him quite a lot of bother. He gets quite grizzly, sometimes particularly in the evenings. But for the most part, he feeds really well.
And when feeding time's over, it's time for a nappy change.
Having Having his nappy change isn't his favourite thing. He certainly gets probably the most active as I'm pulling up on his tail and stuff. It just makes him want to pull forward on his hands. So yeah, he's definitely getting more tricky to change his nappy, and when you're trying to put a new one on, his back feet are starting to cling on to it and stuff. But, he likes having some nappy off time as well, which we'll do every so often for him, just because it's quite nice.
The team's past experience suggests they'll need to hand-rear the tiny Woolly for about 5 months. But he's responding well, and by then should be independent enough to be fully integrated back into his Woolly family. At the park's Marmoset complex, the team are awaiting the arrival of Frank, a Jeffroy's marmoset Alison collected from a family in the Midlands. At nearly 2 years old, he's almost fully grown, and it's hoped in time he'll bond with a male common marmoset called Douglas.
We've just taken all the branching down from one of the rooms and put fresh up, so it's all nice and new for him and clean. We've filled it full of baskets for foraging, gum logs, to enable natural behaviour of eating the marmoset gum that we provide. Lots of nice bedding, blankets, baskets and things, so hopefully he'll move in. It won't smell of any other marmosets, so it'll be nice for him, nice and fresh and new, and he'll settle in and make it his own little house.
The complex is currently home to 25 marmosets, almost all rescued from the British pet trade.
Hiya. So he's lovely. Yeah, he's very confident. He was definitely in charge of the household and runs around giving people little bites. I had 2 or 3 little, like, not bad, but just like I'm in charge, and then sat on my shoulder and started to curl up and go to sleep.
Frank will spend his first night in his new bedroom at the Marmoset house. He won't be introduced to Douglas until the team are happy he's calm and settled.
Hello, you.
First of all, Alison wants to weigh him. Less the weight of the box, he's just over ½ a kilo, about average for a fully grown male.
Yeah. I'm not convinced he has a whole lot of muscle tone. His body is quite full, but his little arms and legs aren't that beefy. So there might be some more filling out to do. There's definitely fitness to be done.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank. Good boy.
Frank takes his first proper look at his new home and is understandably cautious.
Come on, little man.
Branches and mesh are a lot different to having the run of a family living room.
Come on, buddy.
I mean, he's very nimble, but it was all on chairs and tables.
He will obviously start moving around more. He did have quite a big area where he was, but it was, wasn't really branched, obviously, like this, because it was in someone's house, so he's got to get used to moving on branches and on ropes. That will obviously build his core strength up and his balance as well, so that will help his muscle tone.
While Frank starts to get used to and explore his new surroundings, in the next bedroom, Douglas is very curious about this new housemate.
We're hopeful that Douglas and Frank will bond and be able to stay together, sleep together, groom, and all of those things. So they'll have these 2 bedrooms. But, you know, it's late in the afternoon now, so we'll let Frank settle in for tonight. Karen will try and make friends with him. He's dead curious looking around and hearing the other marmoset calls, so I think he's going to be just fine. But the first 24 hours, you want to make sure that an individual doesn't get so upset that they shut down. Not that we've ever even seen that with any of the marmosets ever, but better safe than sorry.
It's been a good day so far. Frank appears calm and relaxed in his new home. The team will keep their fingers firmly crossed that his introduction to potential pal Douglas goes just as smoothly. The park recently took in 5 nocturnal slow lorises, rescued by the authorities in Hong Kong. They've now made it successfully through their quarantine period, with the 2 females happily paired up with 2 of the males. One of the couples, Tina and Marley, have been transferred to Sheldon Wildlife Trust in Devon, which is in charge of the new slow loris European breeding programme.
Hello. Are you ready to come out?
In return, Boo, a single female, originally rescued from the Maldives by Alison before settling at Sheldon, has returned to Monkey World. It's hoped she will partner with Bruce, the remaining Hong Kong loris. He's been waiting patiently on his own since arriving some months ago. During the quarantine period, he's had to watch while the other 4 lorises paired up and moved in together. Now it's his turn. Boo's been put in a bedroom next to him, and although they can't see one another, they can smell and hear each other. Bruce's activity has dramatically increased, a sure sign he's interested in meeting the new arrival. In the past, Boo has lived with other female lorises, but Bruce is much larger than she is and might be a bit intimidating. She's had a few days to settle down and get used to her surroundings, and the team have decided today's the day she's going to get the chance to meet the hunk next door.
You ready, Bruce?
As the doors between their 2 rooms are opened, Steph is keeping her fingers crossed the pair will get on. Boo is the first to pop her head through. But as Bruce approaches, she disappears back into her room. He follows her in and slowly makes his way over to her. But it's too much too soon for Boo. She starts making a panting and rasping sound to warn him off.
So Boo's pretty nervous. I guess she's quite a bit smaller than him.
But Bruce, with little known experience of wooing ladies, is overcome with excitement and, making a very direct approach, tries to mate Boo. Unimpressed, she gives him a warning growl and threatens a nip. Undeterred, he approaches again, but now in a state of anxiety, Boo is having none of it.
It's difficult to say what kind of prompted that. I think Boo was just being cautious and doing a bit of sort of a chittery pant growl kind of warning. And Bruce sort of just went straight up and I think just tried to greet at first, but then because she was growling, he had a little snap at the back of her neck. But she seems unharmed, so I'm gonna leave them together for now because no one's, injured and they're both fine.
Boo continues making warning sounds that get quicker when Bruce tries to come close.
He's being quite sensible and he is moving away once he's sort of had a little sniff. So hopefully she just needs to get used to the sight of him and the smell of him, and hopefully she'll start to relax as she does that.
A while later, Boo starts a tentative approach towards Bruce. She's still making negative sounds, but a confused Bruce takes it as a form of encouragement and once again tries to mate. Boo, alarmed by the speed of his approach, growls and the pair wrestle, causing Bruce to fall. He's unharmed by the fall, but shortly after, Steph, now joined by others from the primate care team, notices Boo has started licking herself. It's a sign she might have been wounded, and they're worried Bruce may have bitten her. Loris bites can be toxic, so this could be a serious issue. The team examine her, but Boo's thick fur makes it difficult to see by torchlight.
Hey, buddy. Hi there. Little cutie.
It's established the wound isn't serious, but the team decide to call it a day in order to give Boo and Bruce time to calm down. They'll try again in a few days' time. Over the years, there have been a lot of comings and goings at the park, as new primates arrive and others grow up and join new groups. It's been 12 years since Monkey World was asked to set up the European creche for orphaned orangutans. Since then, it's gone from strength to strength, rearing infants in a social, happy group so they grow up knowing how to be orangutans. And today, all that hard work by everyone involved has paid off. Alison has received some wonderful news.
We've just been contacted by Rostock Zoo, where Xiaoning and also her sister Dinda moved to a couple of years ago now. Not only was Xiaoning pregnant, she's now given birth to what is a beautiful baby girl. And most importantly, she's looking after it. And I'm like even getting goosebumps as I'm saying it, because the one thing that we know about orangutans is that if they're orphans themselves, odds are they're not going to look after their own babies. And that's exactly why the orangutan creche here at the park was set up, is to try and break that cycle of abandonment. And I've seen video clips, I've seen photographs. She's just a doting, lovely, beautiful, perfect mother. And it's everything that we wanted here at the park.
Xiaoning was born back in 2003 to mum Roro and dad Tuan. Roro didn't feed her, so she was hand-reared by the team at Monkey World before joining the nursery group at the park. In 2012, Xiaoning left for Rostock Zoo to join 2 other orangutans, a male of similar age called Sabas and another female, Miri. Just 2 years later, Xiaoning's sister Dinda, also rejected by Roro at birth, joined the trio in Germany.
We're really pleased. They're in a beautiful home with excellent people caring for them. And you know, Tuan and Roro are grandparents now for the first time. With Dinda, Xiaoning's sister, maybe there's gonna be the pitter-patter of little orange feet again very soon. I hope it all works out well for Dinda and that she too cares for her baby, and that we might start seeing some results of these orphans going on to care for their babies perfectly because they've had the right background here at our orangutan creche.
It's a significant moment for the park and testament to the work they do.
I'm so very proud of all of the efforts that we go to try and give our guys the very best and fullest life possible. We're now all really hopeful that we've got the right mix here at the park with our orangutan nursery, and that all of these orphans will grow up to be good, caring mothers, and we won't have any more orphan babies.
Next time on Monkey Life. From Russia with love, Alison and Jana were in Moscow to collect a baby orangutan.
Click. Yeah. Good girl. Excellent job.
And Al the lemur experiences the trees of Malagasy for the first time.